What up, y'all? So listen, I'm gonna start calling this with Tracy. I know Tracy Chappelle better have her tail up in here. Who else better be up in here? Tracy ain't even in here yet. Look at her. Hey y'all, come on in, come on in, come on in. I'm gonna start calling this segment. I know I didn't realize Pam was going live. Well, I knew Pam was going live tonight, but I didn't realize we were going live at the same time. But here's the thing: I told y'all I got to do it now. I'm not gonna really have time to get it. I promise this to y'all. I promise this to y'all. So my feelings won't be hurt because I know what Pam got going on over there is juicy. I already know the tea because I talked to her on the phone. Okay, so I already know the tea. But if you want to go over there, Natalie, you know my feelings ain't gonna be hurt, boo. I understand because she got some good tea over there now. She got some good tea over there with the Ernesto bond hearing today. But I promise to my people, I'm gonna start calling this segment the tribe's choice, right? Because this is something y'all wanted me to talk about, and so I may have to start doing this on a regular basis. Tribe's choice, okay? Tribe's choice. So the tribe's choice tonight is who the F did I marry? Okay. And for those who do not know what who the F did I get married is, it is one woman's story over on TikTok. She broke her story down into 50 parts. Each part is about 10 minutes long. So if you want to listen to the whole thing, be ready to dedicate a significant amount of time. Now you can speed it up, but it is still going to take you some time to get through it. Now, you're here for the tribe's choice. I have to start calling this segment tribe's choice. Now, with that being said, now I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I was very reluctant to this, only because I didn't want to sit through this whole story. But I still ain't sit through the whole story, if I'm being honest. I watched a lot of summaries, but I did watch up to part like 20 something. I got halfway through it. But let me say this. Oh, you did the homework on this one? Okay. I'm gonna drop the link in a few minutes. Give me about 10 more minutes and I'm gonna drop the link. But let me say this though. One of my students was like, Miss you need to look at this like a podcast. And when she said it, I said, you know what? That's valid because I listen to podcasts all the time with these stories about con artists, like Dirty John. You know, Dirty John was a whole, however many part series or whatever, and I'll be in it. I think part of this, what annoyed me about this story, it might just be that I felt like, even though she's being very self-deprecating, and when I say self-deprecating, meaning she takes a lot of responsibility for, yes, the red flags were there, and she explains why she chose to ignore some of the red flags. Even though she takes a lot of that on herself, there is a part of me that still feels like, girl, you know. So for those who don't know, let me give you guys the short version of the story. Then I'm gonna let people come up who want to get deeper into the things, right? So let me know how we're sounding today. I have made some adjust. I turned some stuff down. I changed this setting, and I got an arm, so the microphone is a little bit closer to my mouth. Let me know how we're sounding. Are y'all still hearing? So just let me know in the chat if you're still hearing the static, because I'm playing with the settings and we're going to see. We're going to find what works, because there's nothing wrong with this microphone. Somebody said that maybe there's a short in it, but this microphone really isn't that old. So before I throw the baby out with the bathwater, we're going to keep playing with it, okay? I thought maybe this getting a microphone stand would help so the mic is closer to my mouth. So let me know if it's clearer, if you guys can hear me better. Do I need to turn it down, turn it up? Let me know if y'all start hearing the static. Okay, the static is gone. Okay, good. Okay. Somebody in my comments was like, you sound annoyed. And I'm like, I'm not annoyed. I'm frustrated. I want you guys to understand that I want to give you guys good quality a good quality show. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to give that to you. And when that's not happening, I'm frustrated because I'm trying to fix it. And I'm not the most tech savvy person. And rather than me spend money to have somebody come in here and tell me what's wrong or tell me what I need to do, I really just try to troubleshoot as much as I can myself. So when you guys hear the frustration, it's not, and I'm never annoyed with you guys telling me. I just need, I'm annoyed when 20 people tell me after I've already said I'm working on it, but I'm never annoyed at you guys letting me know. What you hear is frustration. Okay. So with that being said, I even moved it a little bit closer. You guys can see the microphone. It's a little bit closer to my mouth. Okay. Okay. I just can't devote not 1 second of my time to foolishness like this. Women like this aggravate me to my soul. See red flags and ignore them. You know, Miss Gigi, I do not disagree with you. And I just feel like that's where my frustration, especially when you grown. Like, if this woman were 20 something, I might give her, you know, a little bit. But girl, you grown. Like, you grown. So anyway, so I'm gonna give y'all the overview. I said 10 minutes, but give me 5 more minutes, and then I'm gonna drop the link. So the quick version of this 5-hour story that she gave us. And don't get me wrong, they said this girl made like $80,000 off of this story in the last 2 weeks. So I'm mad at her. Because listen, get in where you fit in, okay? Because that's probably about what the kind of debt you got yourself into. So she meets this guy on an online dating app. She said that he was on Hinge and on Facebook dating at the same time. That's not a big deal. I've been on more than one dating site at one time. Not a big deal. And a lot of people are on more than one dating site. So a lot of times it does overlap. And you might, and the good thing is if you get matched with the person on both apps, that kind of says that there's some sort of validity to the matching, that there's something in common. So that part isn't a red flag. She said on her way to their first date, her tire blew on the highway. Now, that was God. I'm just going to say it. Now, I know everybody don't believe in God. Everybody don't believe, but let's just say that was a higher power. That was spirituality. That was somebody trying to stop you from getting to that restaurant, okay? But it actually ended up backfiring on fate because he was able to be a hero because she called him and told him what happened. So he ended up meeting her on the highway, taking her, rescuing her, taking her to a tire place, buying her a brand new tire, and then they still went to dinner. She said by the time they got to the restaurant, they was holding hands. Now, this happened 2 weeks before the shutdown. So basically, in those 2.5 weeks, they got close. You know, they was in their honeymoon phase where they was probably talking all day on the phone. They was probably doing the you hang up, no, you hang up, no, you hang up, no, you hang up. You know, they was probably doing all of that. And when the world shut down, they made the decision to for him to stay at her place during the shutdown. Now let's remember, nobody knew it was going to be a 2-year ordeal. When I say all of us, I'm not saying we all thought it, but in the beginning it was, okay, we're going to shut down for 2 weeks. Oh, okay, we're going to extend it to a month. Oh, okay, we're going to extend it. So in the beginning, for them to say, look, we just getting to know each other. We want to, keep getting to know each other. So that'll be cute for us to, quarantine together, right? So that's kind of where that started. Of all them influencers, like she had a Pinterest board, child. Yeah, they did. They talked for a little while before the first date. Yeah, it wasn't like they met and went on a date. They did. Okay. So fast forward, because this is going to take longer than 5 minutes if I do this. So fast forward, they're living together. They decide they're going to get a new house. They want to move into a new home. He told her he used to play arena football. He told her that even though right now he's an executive at a condiment company down in the Atlanta area, that he does have money saved up from the years that he played arena football. And, he's an executive making good money. Right. He was paid. Now, that's the one thing I'm going to say about him is he's a con man. But he got a different kind of con going on because he is actually paying bills, right? He was paying her rent. He was paying all the household bills. So when the man started talking about he had money, it made you feel like, well, he might have a little piece of change because he done moved up in here and I ain't paid a bill since he got here, right? That does make you feel like, okay, well, now, of course, in hindsight, it could have been a PPP loan. He could have been swindling another woman, robbing Peter to pay Paul. Like, we don't know. So when it got time to buy this house, he shows her all this paperwork of him getting pre-approved for a $750,000 house. Now, the first house, again, I gotta be, I'm okay. The first house fell through. The second house, they withdrew the contract or whatever. The third house, he got to playing games. And this is when she first started realizing that he was being deceitful. And by this time, though, she pregnant. And here is where the story made a left turn for me. Now, this was like episode 4 or 5. Okay. I told y'all there's 50 episodes. So this was like episode 4 or 5. She said that she knew then that he was lying. And she said that she made a conscious effort at that time to let him out of the lie and stay with him. There's a part of me that feels like she enjoys being the victim, because why would you continue yourself in a situation to be victimized? Now, I get it. We were still in COVID. We were still going through the things that we were going through during that time period. But for you to say you knew at that point, we on episode 4, maybe 5, and you said that you knew, you had talked to the realtor and you knew this man lied about the house because he said y'all had a contract on this house. And then you saw the house was no longer on the market. You called a realtor. The realtor told you a white couple bought the house. You know he's lying to you. And you don't even confront him. You give him the out and allow him to lie to your face. There you go, Tracy. And allow him to lie to your face. I get it, J12. I get it. That's what she says. She says, J12 says she continued because she was desperate for a man. Absolutely. And she said that. She said, I was pregnant. I was older. And she said, like I said, she's very honest about why she made these decisions. She is. She said, I was lonely. I didn't want to be alone. You know, I felt like I was older in life, and I thought, you know, because again, let's not forget, he is still paying bills. He is still, like, even though he lied about the house, in her mind, he's not lying about everything, because hell, the bills are still getting paid every month, right? Then he does the same thing with the car. He got her out here test driving BMWs and Audis and this and that and the other. And he, even to the point where he told her they're gonna deliver your new, what was it, Acura or Audi or something. Hey, what's up, Patches? They're gonna deliver your new car. Stay home from work. So waiting for them people to come all day long, waiting for them to deliver a car that he knew wasn't coming. He knew that car wasn't coming. Now, she said he did end up an Audi. Thank you, Natalie. He did end up buying her a car. It was an Altima, and it ain't nothing wrong with an Altima. But when you got me out here test driving BMWs, oh, Emily said, I'm admittedly with a liar. He and his 3 kids are at my home. Oh, Emily, you need to get a good lawyer, honey. Love you too, Patches, boo. Hey. Right. She knew the car wasn't coming. She just wanted to see what lie he was going to use. Now, I'm going to tell y'all the truth. Honestly, y'all, that's probably about as far as I'm going to tell you how far I got in the story, and I'm about to drop the link so y'all can share. This how far I got in the story. I'm at the part where he told her he got this. He told her, no, I got through the miscarriage. She had a miscarriage. I got through that. I think I'm at the part where they were out and he was telling her where his new building was. And she was like, oh, well, let me see your office. Because again, remember, it's COVID. She's never been to his office or whatever. And he lied about the security not being there to let him in the building. But he also was telling her that he drove a company car, like a $200,000 BMW or something crazy. Not a $200,000 BMW, but a BMW. You watched all parts on Jamie's show yesterday, 6 hours with child. Oh my gosh. I didn't realize Jamie. I saw Jamie covering it, but I didn't know she was live that long. Good Lord, Jamie. Give Jamie the listen. Shout out to Jamie for that one, baby. And I know her commentary was funny. So I'm gonna drop the link. Now, the guy name, she kept calling him Legion. Legion has entered the chat. Okay, Legion has gotten down to the TikTok trying to defend himself, and even to the point where he said that he about to file some lawsuits because these people lying on him. He also said he was on his way to Netflix to film. He also said he was on his way to Netflix to film, tell his side of the story. Right. His exes done entered the chat. Child, everybody that came and told the story. Everybody that told. So I'm gonna be honest with you. This is absolutely going to turn into a series. I don't know if it's gonna be on Lifetime. I don't know if they're just gonna make like if it's gonna be on Netflix. But this is absolutely gonna end up in a movie version. Now, it's going to. It's a great story. It's really, 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 really a great story. I ain't even gonna lie. Oh no, I got to the part where he bought her the plane ticket and stuff to go to London and Paris. Now I don't know what happened. Why? I know that she just got a trip. I think Delta is gonna give her a free flight and somebody else is gonna pay for a hotel. Like she's getting all this free shit. I think even BMW commented under her video or whatever. So she's getting some stuff out of this. But somebody come up here and tell me why she ain't never make it to Paris and France. I mean, was it a fake airline ticket? Because she said that he showed her real paperwork. She saw his bank account. You know, it reminded me of, I'm going to tell you, it reminded me of a middle class Tinder swindler. Remember when we talked about, it's not a new mic. It's the same mic. I just got a mic stand. Thank you, though. Thank you for noticing. All right, hold on, Jane. Okay, Tracy, y'all, I need to see y'all. I need to see it, y'all. And then I ain't gonna bring y'all up. Hold on, I'll put my banner up. Hold on, let me just put my banner up, child. I know Tracy and them, but y'all know how I got swindled the last time. Okay, I see you, Jane. Y'all know I got swindled the last time. Okay, let me bring Jane up. Tracy, girl, what is Tracy doing? Hey, Jane, what's up, boo?
Oh, here I am. Yeah, girl. So with the airline tickets, he was in the process. He needed something to reel her back in because he hadn't been able to deliver on the
Tracy.
car.
Mhm. Oh.
So,
Oh.
Okay.
so she shows up at home and he has travel brochures for London and Paris on the counter, along with airline ticket information. So he didn't actually purchase anything.
I
He
see you
just
exactly.
had it.
You can turn your camera on. Okay. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
He just had it all set up for them to plan. And that's when they started a conversation about his passport, because she said, "Oh, if we're going to London and Paris, I need to renew my passport, and I got to get on that now." And he was saying, "Yeah, me too." Now the problem is that he's a felon, and so he can't get a passport. But he
What?
this. So what he did instead was he played he played the role. He played the okie doke. He just sat up there and he was like, yes, you get your passport. I'm going to fill out all my paperwork too. And that way we're going to go because we didn't really have a honeymoon. And I want you to have this. So I think two things happen. One, I think my experience with narcissists of this kind is that on the one hand, they believe their own story because they're caught up in it in their head. This is who they want the world to see them as. This is how they see themselves internally. Now, they have all types of excuses for why they aren't that person, but this is how they want the world to see them. This is how they feel inside, to put it simply. The other thing is, she's right. They hate the other people who believe their lies. Now, I know that sounds crazy, but follow me. They think the only way I can get somebody to buy into my version of reality is they have to be stupid in some ways. So on the one hand, they feel like really smart for being able to manipulate people and get them to buy into their BS. But then on the other hand, they have contempt for the people who do believe them and buy into their BS. So there's like always a situation of them idealizing the target and them devaluing the target, right? So she is right because they're the type where for him, taking her to see those houses, taking her to test drive those cars was like a lot of men initially said, huh, look at her. Did she really think that there was any man who was going to do that for her? So part of Legion's mentality is just me showing her this and doing these things for her, even if I don't completely come through, is more than she's gotten from any other man. She should be grateful. So I know that sounds crazy to sane people, but that if you followed the whole story through, that is essentially what she was dealing with. One more thing I want to add before I step down for a second. I mean, mute up for a second. Is that you have to, a lot of people have to remember, and I've been reminding people of this for the past couple of days. This was during the time, the height of Kevin Samuels. Y'all better marry who wants you or die alone.
But so she was, so I mean, did she say that in one of the things that she was following Kevin Samuel?
No, she didn't say that she was saying it because she was following Kevin Samuels, but she mentioned on several, that was not just the Kevin Samuels conversation. That was a huge part of the zeitgeist. And on top of that, she's a church girl.
Yeah, I know that's when she got pregnant is why she, kept stay with him. All right, Tracy, what you got, boo, and then Xavier?
Number one, I blame you because I wasn't watching this bull. And you was like, oh, everybody, this is your homework. Y'all need, yes, you did.
Y'all asked me to, no. Y'all asked me to watch this.
Oh, I ain't asked you to watch it. You know what's crazy?
The tribe,
I put in recommendations for the tribe all the time, and you tell me no. Real.
Oh, wait a minute, Tracy, you get a lot. Tracy, you get a lot of no. Tracy, okay? Hold on. For the people who are new here, wow. Tracy is my producer, and we fuss all the time. So don't worry about it. I don't talk to everybody like this. Tracy, listen, you get a lot of what you want over here. Don't you play with me, Tracy? Listen, you make suggestions all the time.
I'll be making suggestions I'll be with the tribe. I'll be like, okay, I'll make sure to remind Really B so she'll forget. I got y'all. Cool. I'll put
Tracy,
it in the pocket to remind her.
But you get a lot of what you want. You get a lot of what you want.
Yeah. I agree. But this one right here, absolutely. I was like, this is Trapped in the Closet 2.0.
But
This
but
is like
but you know what though?
2000.
But this is just a black version of like Dirty John or the Tender Swindler. I mean, don't get me wrong. Dirty John got violent and people lost their, like
Mm-hmm.
that was more extreme. But it's that same mindset. I mean, that woman in Dirty John, like she saw all the red flags and she let that man move in with her. She married that man. He infiltrated her business, everything. Like that man cost her everything. And again, the sad thing is this isn't an anomaly. It's a whole new, there's a whole new series now with this lady. It's called The Lies He Told Me. And I thought at first it said, on TikTok, people have these headings to try to trick you, clickbait,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I thought that this was Legion's new girlfriend telling her story. Come to find out, it was a whole different story. I said,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not going down this rabbit hole. I'll
Oh
be down.
no. Listen, I listened to that first episode of that other one. It was like, absolutely not. You set yourself up for that. You called looking for that man multiple times.
Mhm.
Absolutely not. Get out my face. Get
You
out
called
my
up to that
face.
man place of business, even to the point where that man tried to get off the phone with you.
Multiple times. Absolutely not.
Who is
So,
Dirty John? Dirty John is a podcast that they turned into a show on FX, like a limited series on FX that we reviewed over here. We reviewed the show. You can go back in my playlist and go back to those reviews. If you go onto podcast and type in Dirty John, you can listen to the series on wherever you listen. If you listen to podcasts, wherever you listen to podcasts, just type in Dirty John. It comes up.
listen,
And it's based on a true story.
I will say this. I was like, and I hate to sound like, there's different levels of people or things like that. I was like, wait. Your tire blew out and he changed your tire, and that was the catalyst for you saying he was a good man. I was like, girl, I know how to change a tire. I was like, my daddy will change my tire. I got 6 brothers. Any of them will change it. When she said that to her, that was the thing. I was like, oh, baby, you started out
She's lying.
you started out broken.
She's
To be
lying. You
fair,
wasn't. Wait a minute. Hold on,
he bought the
James.
tire too.
He did buy the tire too, but no, that's kind of what I was gonna say. She lying. Listen, and don't, y'all, people in the chat, don't get on me. People in the comments, don't cuss me out. But let's be clear. Yeah, he bought the tire too. He did. He bought it. But let's be clear, and this is my opinion. This is my opinion, and I know y'all ain't gonna agree with me, and that's fine. Well, some of y'all. Part of the reason why she did what she did is because it was financially beneficial, and we have a really bad habit of equating money to dedication and love. Had this relationship progressed slower, had this man not been paying for things and doing things for her financially, I'm not saying she's a gold digger. That's not what I'm saying. But we enjoy the financial aspect of these relationships. This is my opinion, you guys. The fact that he moved into her home and he wasn't a quote unquote bum, right? He was paying the rent, he was paying the household bills. And all of a sudden, this guy that she met, and within a 6 month, not even 6 months, within a 6-week window, he has bought her these things and he has taken care of her, right? That gave him a lot of leeway to lie to you, because you ain't
I,
want to give all of that up. And that's part of it. I'm not saying that's all of it, but in my opinion, that's part of it.
girl, I'm right there with you. And this is why I say she started that relationship and something in her was already broken, or not broken, shattered. There were some little pieces
But
missing.
there was a
Cause
level of desperate, and she
oh,
said that there was a level
yeah,
of desperate
oh
there.
yeah, cause
Yeah.
I was like, wait, that was the catalyst for you to say great.
Not
And I
only
was like,
that,
within
remember she
2 weeks,
said, I thought it
you
was my
let this man
turn.
move in. I was like,
She said she
Go
thought it
ahead,
was.
Xavier. She thought it was what?
Jen can finish her thought.
No, I
She
so
was
thought it
just
was
saying
what?
that the woman did say that she thought it was her turn now. That's part of the reason she bought into it, because she had, I'm guessing from what she said, she had been waiting she had been promised this, because this is part of the romantic fantasy the church sells you. But I'll let Xavier go into his thing. But this is part of that fantasy the church sells, specifically Black women, that if you stay faithful, this is what is your reward.
Wait, who church sell y'all that? And if that's the church y'all going to, I'm questioning y'all for going there, because my church don't sell that. And I've had my same pastor since over 20 years. So
Well,
we need to, whoa. So we're going to make sure that we are vesting things away.
Hold on. Let me say this, because I want to give Xavier been patient, and I don't want us to go left, because I actually agree with part of what Jane is saying, but I don't want us to go left. I want to give Xavier an opportunity, because he's been waiting patiently before y'all know how we can go. So go ahead. I dropped the link again. If anybody wants to come up, you don't have to show your face. I just have to verify that you're a real person before I bring you up on the platform. When I say a real person, somebody that's not going to, that has nefarious intentions. Go ahead, Xavier.
Hello, everyone. I just wanted to say, you guys might not think she's a gold digger, but I know she's a gold digger. The bitch is delusional.
We're not doing that, Xavier. Xavier, no. We're not calling names. Go ahead.
That lady is not that. She knew exactly what she was trying to get, and she got exactly what she deserved. She was trying to be Young Miami to his Diddy. That's the problem with her, and she's too old for that. She is too old. She was 36 when this happened. She is too old to be trying to be a city girl, because that's what Risa Tisa was trying to be, a goddamn city girl. First of all, her whole listen. I didn't watch all of it, but I watched enough. And the part that stuck me as a person, maybe it's just my background as a person who's big on family, but the fact that you marry someone and you don't know anything about their family, that he could tell you lies about anything involving his family, is a problem. That's the biggest problem to me.
That's always a red flag. That's always a red flag. But it was COVID.
But you can call. You didn't say, hey, let me talk to your brother. Let me meet your sister. My mom speaks to her sister-in-law all the time. My stepfather speaks to his sister-in-law all the time. How are you just marry somebody whose whole background is just a mystery to you? You don't know if they blood bad. You don't know what type of disease. You don't know what the fuck is going wrong with that family. They could have all sorts of generational curses that you have aligned yourself and your child to, and you just lay down and breed with him. No concern for you or yourself, because he was paying bills. Also, you can say that you had a man taking care of you. I know it's hurtful, but Risa got exactly what she deserved for trying to participate in foolishness. And really, I mentioned this to you a couple weeks ago on the members only chat about these traditional mindsets and traditional relationships coming back. And this is a classic example of this. James right. This is the dream the church, not only the church, but just society sells, that there's some man who's going to pay your way for you, and you're going to ride out happily ever after into the sunset. She bought that fantasy at 36 years old. She should be ashamed of herself.
Listen, my problem is not.
Hold on, Glenda.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
My thought is, okay, if we're looking at the context of the relationship, within 2 weeks y'all moved in together. Fine, COVID, not COVID, because I don't understand the thought process. COVID or not, how do you let someone move in with you after 2 weeks at your big age? It wasn't like she was like 19. I
want us to stop. Can we stop equating age? Can we stop equating age to
common sense?
Yeah, because let's not do that.
Oh, okay.
Let's not. Glenda, welcome to the platform. What you want to add to this? Because Tracy, and Jane can go all night. So we're not, but we could. What you want to add to this?
Okay, so I've been listening, and I heard the last person what he was saying, like, I'm a family person. How does she not know so much? I think a lot of people who did not finish did not listen to her. Now, I took my time and listened because I wanted answers. And one thing she said is he did. She knew a lot about his family. But if someone is lying to you, everything he's telling you is a lie. So he did. She knew family members. She knew names. She knew, ages. Most of it was a lie. Even like down to his quote unquote younger brother. It was actually his twin brother who was his older twin by 20 minutes. So a lot of things he did tell her. She said he never stopped talking. And a lot of times people with that kind of like narcissism and, you know, mental illness, they do things, especially someone like him, is manipulative. She said he never stopped talking. The only reason why she got a chance to breathe and get her mind together is when he was really sick. So when he was really sick, she wasn't in that room with him. He just, was sleeping a lot or whatever the case may be. Then she got time to like think about a lot of things and actually go and do things. Now, granted, I don't know how people talking about gold digging and all that stuff. Most people, most women want someone who wants, first of all, they want to feel this from her words. She wanted her turn, and that's why social media can really be harmful. She's seen a lot of stuff on social media. She see all the things that men buy things and all that stuff, and she wanted her turn. She wanted that relationship. She wanted to feel doted on and to feel loved and feel those things. And for her, he started off really strong. He loved Bomber. So she didn't even get a chance to process these feelings because he went again. She said he talked so much, so they were conversing all the time. Before the first date, they were talking all the time. They were conversing. She didn't get a chance, so now she's so deeply in life with this person that when COVID happened, she's like, "Ain't nothing be wrong with him." Because I really like him. Everything is checking off my list. He's been nice. He's been thoughtful. I mean, I I just have compassion for her because I understood. Like I would never do that, but I never gonna get to my own life. But I would never do that. But I definitely, when she explained certain things, I understood. I understood that need for like you dated so many men who just didn't even give a crap. Like how many people know men if you called them and said, "Oh, I ain't gonna make it to my first date," my tire blew. They're like, "Oh, that's what's up. All right, I guess we'll catch up next time." That was thoughtful. That was something that she probably was like, "Wow." But that's also an issue when it comes down to the whole situation because those people like that mirror you, try to do everything to get in with you, and it can be a problem. And that's why her story is important. But to call her a gold digger sounds crazy because I can't remember the word she used of the fact that he was paying all the bills. But the word she used was it like she just had like extreme like just that feeling of never I don't have to worry about how I'm gonna pay next month, how I'm gonna pay these bills alone. Like that feeling of I finally get money, I finally can do a savings, I finally can do these things. A lot of people who in certain situations can feel that, like can see, oh my gosh, I finally just I have it. Like I feel good. Like we're not struggling. I mean, what I'm about to be real shady. Like, what's the point of getting married if you don't have a helpmate or somebody who makes things easier in life? Why would you want to get married and still be doing the same single lifestyle? Like I live in DC. These bills ain't cheap. If I had a man who wanted to pay all these bills, they
You ain't lying. You ain't
Well,
lying. You ain't lying.
and I think
yeah,
where it's odd to call her a gold digger is her. She said like her rent was what 1,000 or under $1,000. It wasn't even $1,000. Like all of her bills. So gold digger,
See,
not
yeah, I
quite.
mean, and that's why I said when I said it, that's why I said I'm not calling her a gold digger. I'm saying I think she liked the idea that this man was take. Listen, let me just call a thing a thing. Let's just if we're gonna have the conversation. Let's have a very honest conversation. I think it's very easy for people to. And I'm not talking about anybody in particular, but I think it's very easy for people to stand back and be like, "Oh, she was stupid. Oh, she should have known. Oh." Like I said in the beginning, I was with her for a lot of this. I understood it. She lost me when she caught that man in the lie about a whole house. What you not gonna do is have me damn near homeless because you out here lying and I'm gonna let you get away with it. Now the love bombing, I get it. If I went out on a date with a guy and our first date, my tire blew and that man came and got me and bought me a tire, you damn right. I'll be like on the phone with my friends, like, girl, you not gonna believe this. And then they immediately went into COVID. And I think if we're being honest, if we are being honest, for those of us who were there when I see somebody backstage, I'm gonna bring you up. Give me a second. If we are being honest, we all had a different mindset with COVID because we were literally dealing with death every day. We had a different mindset with COVID. A lot of us did have a very carpe diem mindset. And again, I'm not saying that I think that she is a horrible person. I think that she allowed her insecurities. I think she allowed her loneliness. I think she allowed the thought that she wanted to be married and she wanted to have kids cloud her better judgment and allow her to let a situation continue to spiral out of control, especially when she got pregnant and she wasn't married. Like I ain't listened to all of it. But I did hear those things. So I want to be fair, but I also want to be like, yeah, but at some point, and again, she's very honest to say, I know I was stupid. So I'm gonna give her credit that she's not sitting there trying to make it seem like it was all him. And she's very clear to be like, look, red flag, I should have got out. Red flag, I should have turned left. But I know for me, I'm just sitting here like, girl, the house though. For me, it was the house. That's where I would have exited the house. The house is where I would have got off the freeway. Because he might have got away with the car because he still bought her a car. He just didn't buy her a BMW. What up, princess? But
Really,
but the house is where he lost me.
Did you make it to the marriage, Really B? Did you make it to them getting married?
Girl, no.
Oh, okay. So how did you end up getting married when the house had already happened? Like my problem with things are the things that were red flags
Tasha?
and you knew he was lying to
Yes.
you and
Okay.
chose to look the other way. How do you then still say, I'm going to marry you when you yourself said, I knew he was lying to me and I chose to look the other way because I liked the way this thing felt, is where I start to say, oh, well then everything that happened is
Yeah. But I
you
think
chose that at that point.
and I'm gonna say this, and I mean, sir, and I'm gonna let Tasha speak next, and then I'll come back around because I know some of you guys have been waiting or whatever. But I also, again, if we're gonna be honest, we're gonna call a thing a thing. Um, she's gonna have to do, and I don't know if she has, because again, I ain't listened to the whole thing, child. I'm sorry. I got halfway through it. I did. I got to episode 20 something, but she's gonna have to do some soul searching, and she's gonna have to get some self confidence and self esteem, because I think a lot of that was her feeling like this is it. This is it. This is the best it's gonna get. This, you know what I mean? And I think she, even when the lies started, it was, well, this is the best I'm gonna get. This is the best I'm gonna get. Tasha, what's your take on it, ma'am?
I think I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I just I'm one of the ones that watched the 50-part series.
Well, thank you, because I need y'all's help. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I just I feel like we're giving her a pass. I think some people are giving her a pass. Yes, I understand not wanting to get married. I understand you want to have kids, and society really heavily dumps that on women. But it seems like, do you love yourself? Like when he started lying, it was like 10 months before, I counted them, 10 months before they got married. He lied to her so many times and she knew it, and she still married him in January, and then said that January 31st is when she knew she was in trouble. You knew you were in trouble 10 months later? It's like, come on. And then I listened to the last video, and I know a lot of people said that she is taking accountability, but in that last video, to me, she didn't take any accountability. She was saying, he did this to me. It was him. No, you allowed him to do. He saw an opportunity and he took it. And you know, I get it. Yeah, he is not a good guy, but you have to have a self-esteem, and I think everybody needs. I don't want to just you know, point the finger at her, because I think a lot of us do need therapy. I'm in therapy and I'm not ashamed of it, but you can't just allow somebody just to stump on you. You can't allow a person to cross your boundaries. You need to toughen up and say something. She didn't say anything. She just let it slide until the bitter end. And that's not how you can live your life, because you're going to be miserable every time. And I wonder, the next time, is this going to happen? Are you going to allow another guy to come in, maybe not to this extreme, but are you going to allow another guy to come in and do the same thing? What have you learned? That was it.
That's a and that's why I said I think she's gonna have to look at some, do some hard soul searching, because even though you are saying, yeah, I allowed these things to happen, and yes, I'm taking accountability, blah 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 blah. What are you doing to make sure that this doesn't happen again? Right? Okay, I'm gonna come back around. I'm gonna start with Jane again, and then I'm gonna go to Jane, and then I'm gonna come back around. I'm gonna drop the link one more time. We're not gonna be here all night. I love y'all, but I'm gonna drop the link one more time. But I'm gonna let people. We're gonna share ourselves. So go ahead, Jane.
I'm very uncomfortable with something because I've heard people refer to her as a gold digger. We are the only culture in which a woman who wants a man who is a provider is considered a gold digger. If you're not willing to mule in a relationship, you are considered lazy. There are a whole lot of negative attributes get attributed to you, when the thing we do not realize is there are a whole bunch of women who have partnerships, healthy partnerships with men who pay all the bills, who handle the relationship financially, and all she does is take care of home. That does still exist. There are still men out there like that, and there are some women who live that way. The culture, unfortunately, sells the idea that this is the pinnacle of womanhood, is to be married and to have children, especially if you have a religious foundation. My biggest problem is listening to people who act like we don't know girls who are 30, 40 years old who've never been in a real relationship. They've been in situationship after situationship after situationship. We see it all the time. And we always say to them is, you got to love yourself first. My point is, we idealize relationships that do not exist in our culture. We do not address the unhealthy nature in which a lot of relationships function within our culture, because we know too many women doing 70% of the bill paying, getting up, taking care of the children, the house, the man, everything, and get nothing for it. And we think that is quote unquote normal. And anybody who wants something different gets criticized. That's number one. Number two is I I I feel many different ways about this, but I've been on the situation where I've been with people who've been in these situations. I've lost friendships. I've lost friendships being like, hey girl, that's not the way you buy a company car. And they go, you don't know everything. You have to understand that we live in a culture of your single friends are going to keep you single. Where her man at? Why are you listening to this when everything around you is telling you that not only is this something that you should want, we're not honest about the fact the numbers aren't even in our favor. Your best friend will cut you if you got a man who's treating you halfway right. In fact, I guarantee you, Legion, after all of this has been exposed, he still got chicks in his DMs, especially in Atlanta. That this is not a man who looks the part, is very valuable in this culture. Very valuable. And we keep acting like that don't exist. What and calling her stupid. He had so many women who were brave enough to come out and say, yep, he got me too. He been doing this for a long time. I've been seeing it for a long time. And to make it clear, I have a lot of social experience. I've been outside since I was 14. And I started running credit checks when I was in college because I realized men will lie to you, especially if they think they don't have what it would take to keep you. Because he did say to her, I knew I had to marry you because you weren't going to stay my girlfriend unless I married you, unless I put up this commitment. And that's all I really got to say on the subject, because I am not so arrogant as to say, there before the grace of God go I, because there are guys out there who could have got me like that. And I think the biggest mistake we make is being so arrogant as to think, oh, she's stupid because I would never fall for that. No, you wouldn't fall for that. But I guarantee you, for me, if some Lenny Kravitz dude came up with my kind of car, offering me my kind of lifestyle, oh, he could get me. Oh, he could get me. There's a couple of brothers who could get me. And I ain't dumb enough to sit up. I'm not dumb enough or unself-aware enough to say, oh, that's just, oh, she shouldn't have wanted that anyway. She shouldn't have been so gullible. Girl, it's not like sisters are talking about they got 10 options of dudes to choose from. If this one don't work out, I'm going to pick another one. Because the truth of the matter is, these dudes out here know that there are women who are willing to shank you and 4 other chicks who look like you for an opportunity to date them, especially in Atlanta.
So I'm gonna go to Tracy next. I want to and I hear you, and I think I agree with a lot of what you're saying, but I feel like, first of all, I disagree that, respectfully, that we're the only culture that turn people into gold diggers. We do it all the time with white women. We do it all the time. I think
Oh,
that
I wasn't saying that. I was just speaking to the way our culture handles it, because white women come out the womb with it. And don't get me started on Asian chicks.
okay, I still don't understand, but okay, moving on. But yeah, I hear what you're saying though. I do hear what you're saying, and I feel like, go ahead, Tracy. I want to let y'all say y'all piece. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Tracy.
Maybe I'm just
Tracy, you there?
cold-hearted. No, maybe I'm just cold-hearted because
No, it's no maybe to that. Go ahead.
nobody's moving in with me after 2 weeks. I don't care what's going. Listen, Jesus himself could come down and be like, "This is the one," and I'm like, "Okay, we'll talk about it in a couple months," because you're not moving in my house after 2 weeks. Do y'all know how hard it is to evict somebody out your house? Absolutely not. That joker could be a killer. What do you know about this person in 2 weeks? Yo, let's like, everybody's like, oh, but it was COVID and people's mindset was different. No, y'all lowered the bar because it was COVID. Your mindset wasn't different. You just lowered your bar. You literally took your standards and was like, oh no, it's COVID. Let's lower it down. Personal choices.
But isn't that changing your mindset though? You
No,
wouldn't say
that's
that's
not changing your mindset, because you know what happened? When COVID ended, your mindset went right back to what it was. You didn't change your mindset. You just lowered your bar. Your standards dropped for a little bit. Like, it's not like you changed your mind. It's not like every guy you meet from now on, you letting him move in after 2 weeks, are you? That's not your new standard.
But that's what I'm saying. You change your mindset.
But yeah, but it's only for that one time during COVID. It's not like every time now you let them move in after 2 weeks. You see what I mean? It was a
No,
one-time
but go
thing because
ahead.
of COVID. Oh, you gonna let you gonna let somebody move in your house? You gonna let a man move
No,
in your
what
house
I'm
after
saying
2
is,
weeks?
but
Oh,
just
okay.
like you change, you change, you can change with your circumstances. What I'm saying. So yes, you changed under those circumstances, and
And then
when
you
the
changed back
circumstances change, yeah, that's what
to
I'm
the
saying.
common sense of
And
it's only
again,
been
look,
2 weeks.
again, I'm not putting everybody on the same level that I'm on. Because let's be clear. Let's be clear. Really B could be married right now. Like it's not from lack of offers. It's from no, I'm not, that's not what I want.
It's
You
from
understand what I'm
standards.
saying?
It's
So
from
it's again,
standards.
it's right. So it's everybody has a different area angle that they're coming at. I'll put it that way.
Yes. Listen, I understand people having different standards, and people's standards may change for different things, and things may happen. During a standard, there's nothing on this earth that's going to let me allow somebody to move in my house after 2 weeks because you know how hard it is to get somebody out? Yo, in New York, you be in eviction court for years trying to get somebody out your house.
Well,
Absolutely not.
we know that. Look at Whitehead, child. Look at Whitehead, child.
Absolutely not. So I mean, let's just go with the thing. As a woman, who do you say you don't know this man from a hole in the wall, and you feel like it's safe enough to let them? Again, questions that I asked because it's not like this had been we had been knowing each other for years. Okay, fine. Both of his parents were dead. You maybe met us. So I watched the whole entire thing. I watched the whole entire thing because Really B gave me homework, so I did it. But so my thing was, hey, at what point when you knew this person was lying to your face and was continuously lying to your face, and then you still chose to marry this person, and you still chose to do these things, and you knew this, it's so I would feel differently if she found out these things after she had married him. But all of this was before, and she still chose. So at that point, I'm like, girl, we on episode 22. How is there still 50? Oh, you kept going on with the thing. Okay, fine. So at some point, I said like, oh, you liked this enough to stay. You didn't mind being lied to if he was paying your bills, because that's literally at for a while what it boiled down to. And then you wised up when you see how far, because according to her, she only left because she found out he was cheating. That was her draw. That was her line in the sand. Him cheating was her line in the sand, not the lying, not anything
Well,
else.
everybody got their own line in the sand.
you know
Everybody got
that
their
was
own line
that
in
was
the sand.
so that was her line. Her line was he was cheating,
That was our
and he was
line. Yeah.
cheating with ladies of the night. So that was them, and that's where she decided to draw her line, which is completely fine because that's what she said she was willing to end the marriage over. But for me, it's one of those things where I was on episode 6, like, oh, there's more to this, because girl, I'd have been
Yeah,
out.
that's what I'm saying. After I got to the lie about after she called him in the lie about the house, that's where I was like, that's my exit ramp. But again, everybody different. But that was my
The
exit
way my
ramp.
daddy
That
would have
and that's
the
why
way my daddy
I
would have
didn't
dragged me up out
understand.
of there.
Right, and that's why I didn't understand why we had 46 more episodes. But
Look,
Oh,
the
to
way
be
the way
fair,
my dad would have dragged me out of there, me or him, one of us would have had to get out of the house. My dad had been like, absolutely not.
to
I'm
be fair,
sorry.
Stacey, the only reason the infidelity did it for her, once again, that religious conditioning, and I've heard women say this, is because that's the only that's one of the only conditions her religion says it is okay to get a divorce once you're married. Is infidelity. That's all. Go ahead.
well, I don't know what her religion is, so I don't know.
Um, I mean, it wasn't her religion to go to marriage counseling before she got married. That was a part of her religion too, but she looked over that one. I'm just saying, you pick and choose the parts of your religion that really matter to you, real
Well, most of us do.
quickly.
Most people pick and choose,
So it's
you know.
fun tea to me. And that man didn't get look. I agree. If you got pre-approved for $750,000 house and you in the studio, the math don't math with some of the things.
Right.
I'm curious Tracy, I need to ask you a question. What accountability, because people keep saying, because I listened to the whole thing too, what accountability didn't she take in your opinion? Because I'm hearing people talk as if she didn't all along the way point out her thinking, why she made the decisions she made, the mistakes she made. That's what I heard. So I'm going to ask you, what accountability do you think she did not take in the, if you listen to the whole thing, in the whole
Mm-hmm. Oh,
what,
I listened to the
what
whole
do
thing.
what do you think she should have done, or what indicator could she make to take more accountability in your opinion?
Okay. So I think there's this like mis. I think it's kind of like a misplacement because just saying like, "Oh, I knew this was a red flag." It's one of those things like, okay, but there is no like any action behind the things. It's like you're just pointing out like, oh, I did this wrong. I did this wrong. I did this wrong. I did this wrong. But there is nothing else behind these statements because as soon as she makes them, she also then goes, and he did this and this and this and this and this. And yeah, I know it was a red flag. And he did this and this and this and this and this. It's like, um, how can I say this? It's like a little. It's like when we tell people like, hey, you show somebody how to treat you, right? And it's like, oh, okay, fine. But then if you just continuously to allow someone to do something different, you then just go back and tell them, but I'm telling you to treat me like this. But what you're doing is not aligning with the words that you're saying. And at the end, she was like, yeah, I seen this red flag. Okay, that's it. That's where we are. Like,
So but I'm not okay. I'm with Jane. If she's saying, look, I know I was being dumb. I mean, she can't unring the bell. She can't go back and change it. So when you say there's nothing behind it, what is it that you would want her to do other than share her story and say, look, I know I was a fool. I know I should have done differently. I know I should have gotten out sooner. I know I should have listened to the red flags. Like what is it that you would want her to do?
well, what her statement was is she only trusts people who she knew prior to him, and she no longer trusts anyone after him. And that is what and that was like her takeaway. That was the takeaway that you got from this?
What I will say to you is life will do that to you.
Yeah,
I'm,
but that's
I'm just going to speak for myself. I don't, even in friendships, I've had people who I have to get to know you to make sure that you want to get to know me for me, because I have an extensive social circle. I have had many people as a big grown adult who have been like, oh, I don't really want to be friends with you if so and so is not going to be there. I don't want to have breakfast with you. I want to go to the party. I want to get invited to the wedding. I don't want to be your friend. I want to come and I want to enjoy the things. I want to sit in the box and see Beyonce. I don't want to be your friend. That's so I get it, because that wasn't my mindset 20 years ago. When I was young, I was very open. I was very like, people change. I'm going to give you a second chance. I'm going to be more open to friendships. But after you get burned, if you don't learn, life will teach you. That's why people say no new friends, because they be like, look, I know these people. I got history with them. I can trust them. New people, I got to figure out my vetting process, because apparently I'm not, my instincts aren't good enough because I keep making the same error. Because didn't you say, what is she going to do to prevent it in the future? So I'm trying to figure out what account y'all want this woman to wear a hair shirt. This was 4 years ago. She's talking about her process, her growth. It's a cautionary tale. What do y'all want her to do? Beat herself? Flagellate herself? Like, what can she?
No, but when I take accountability for something at work, I tell my boss that I'm responsible for that. I made a mistake and I'm responsible for that. You own what you did. You own your part in it.
That's what I'm saying. I don't
not saying that it's a red flag. We all see it's a red flag. No, she knew it was a red flag when she knew it was a red flag when it happened.
She knew it was a red flag when that man lied to her about getting a house.
Right, she knew it. But she's continued on. She's accountable for herself. He's not accountable for her. She's accountable for what her part in it.
But she said that. She fully said, I knew that he was going to lie to me. And I knew that I was going to let him because I wanted to continue this. And this is why. And I shouldn't have done that. But I thought I could still get a different outcome.
You know what else? Something else she also said. She didn't say it in the video, but she said it on her live. Mm-hmm. Somebody asked her if she loved him, and she said she didn't. She didn't love him, and he didn't love me.
She said, looking back now, considering all things, she did not love him. He didn't love her, and she didn't love him because everything was a lie.
Well, yeah, I could see her saying that. I don't know what problem that is. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out, and I'm not being combative, but I'm trying to figure out what y'all want. Why y'all seem like she goes through painstaking detail of stuff that really ain't our business to help somebody, and to tell people as much detail as she can about the situation so she doesn't make him seem completely like a villain and she takes ownership of her part. At least that's what I saw. But I'm hearing from y'all that it wasn't enough. So what I want to hear, give me specific examples of how she could have made this to where you said, yes, now that's taking accountability.
Okay, hold on. I want to put a pin in that because Xavier, I want to give Xavier a chance to speak. He's been patient and been quiet. So go ahead, Xavier.
Okay, so I have a different view on this than probably everyone. And maybe it's because I am a man. Maybe it's my fault. It's my internalized misogyny. But I just want to quote the great Fannie Willis and say, a man is not a plan. Her plan was to get a man who was going to pay her way in life. And to me, and maybe I miscommunicated that when I don't think she's dumb. I think she made thoughtful, purposeful decisions, and that's why she ended up where she ended up. I don't think that her mindset is, I don't think that she's this dumb, innocent person who just got taken advantage of. What did he take from her? Besides time, but she was always going to end up losing that. What did he take from her? Maybe he sold her dreams that he couldn't come through, but he did not take from her. So that's why I don't think, so it seems like his biggest crime was not fulfilling what she wanted him to do. But you shouldn't be but your dream should never be for somebody to fulfill those things for you. Your dream should be to fulfill those things for yourself. Because if the opposite, let's say if this was if it was switch and he was speaking on her, nobody would feel sorry for Legion that he had to go and try and get his wife a house. Nobody would feel sorry for Legion that he had to go and buy his wife a car. Nobody would feel sorry for Legion for any of these things. And people keep on bringing up this culture aspect. Yes, we look at Black women differently for things that we allow other women to do. But guess what? What these other cultures aren't going to do. They're not going to leave their man when they're cheating. They're not going to leave him because he has a little thing on the side. They're not going to leave him because of things that don't matter to their bottom line. So you can't quote other people or what we criminalize what other people are doing. Well, other people are not complaining about the same other things. Other women are not going to complain about the bruises on their neck. They're going to cover them with diamonds. So why? So you have to make a choice about what you stand for and what you don't. She's saying that and the biggest proof to me is that she said she never loved him. And I believe she never loved him. And I believe she knew she never loved him because that's the only way she could stay with a man knowing he was lying to her, but because he was paying her bills, she knew she never loved him, but because of what she was getting from him, she was okay with it. And I'm fine with her coming and telling her story. And I do think she's taking accountability for some things. I just think she's misplacing her motivation. I do not feel like she was desperate. I do not feel like she had no options. I do not feel like she lowered her standards. I feel like those were her standards. They did not work out for her, because that will never work out for anybody when your standards and your dreams are dependent on another person.
So your criticism is that she wanted a man who was a provider, and when he was providing, she overlooked.
Because history has proven that is going to fall apart every time. That the provider men, dependent women, it's always going to fall apart no matter what.
That's not true.
It will always.
I think always is a strong word, but this is what I'm going to say. In my opinion, this is what and I hear what everybody is saying, and I'm trying to be thoughtful in hearing everybody. But again, in my opinion, I think that, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with this, but in my opinion, I think that she gave him leeway that she would not have given a man who wasn't doing the things that he was offering and giving her promises of. So, for example, at the end of the day, we're not going to pretend, well, I'm not going to pretend like there wasn't added incentive in this man saying, hey, I'm getting ready to buy you a $750,000 house, and I'm going to buy you a BMW, and we're going to travel to Europe, and I'm going to provide this life that you want or feel that you deserve. Is there anything wrong with that? No. What's wrong with it is that you are willing to overlook the other things in order for that promise. And I think for me, I'm not speaking for anybody else, for me, that is where I get off on the exit ramp. Because although I have empathy for the fact that her self-esteem was at a point that she allowed this to happen, that is where I get off of the exit ramp. We all want that. And it goes back to what Jane was saying. We all want the opportunity. Well, again, all is a strong word. I would love the opportunity at that life that someone is going to say, hey, I'm going to pay your bills. Hey, let me get you this brand new luxury vehicle. Hey, let's move into this brand new house and set, almost $1 million home, and you don't have to worry about anything. And if I've been out here working my ass off my whole life, taking care of me and mine, I absolutely would be open and be like, wow, really? Okay, cool. The problem for me is that she allowed that desire, which is nothing wrong with that desire. She allowed that desire to overcome her common sense. Now, common sense ain't common, so I don't know her. I can't say. As far as the accountability piece, and again, I'll give everybody a chance to respond. But as far as the accountability piece, it's like an apology. There's really nothing I can do. Once something has happened, all I can do is apologize and show changed behavior. If this lady were to come down to the tiki-taki in another 2 years and give us another sob story where she done let another legion come in and do the exact same thing, then I would be like, where was the accountability? Where was the lesson learned? But honestly, what more can she do other than say, hey, I realized I was a damn fool. I realized that I allowed my desire to overtake my good sense. You understand what I'm saying? And I understand I understand the frustration with it, but honestly, there's really nothing for her to do or say. It happened. It's a done deal. Like there's nothing more there's nothing more for her. What is there to be? How are you accountable to a thing? Hey, what's up, DC Kool-Aid Lisa? What's up, y'all? And no, this isn't a new mic. I just got a mic. I bought a microphone stand. So instead of it sitting on the table next to me, it's on this arm. And I think that might be where maybe some of the static was coming in. Maybe it was sitting too close to the computer. I don't know. But anyway, so that's why for me, again, I think that's why for me, I just wasn't interested. It didn't hit me like it hit other people. Maybe, I mean, I'm not saying this to brag, maybe because I never lived through that, maybe because that's never been my story. I know that some people can empathize with it. Some people can sympathize with it. Some people can see themselves in it. And maybe because, and I know this is going to sound mean when I say this, maybe because her storytelling did not excite me. Maybe that's what it was. I don't know. But anyway, I'm gonna Glenda, I know you jumped in a few minutes ago, but I'm gonna give you an opportunity to say your piece because I didn't come back around to you. So go ahead, Glenda. What more you want to add?
Okay, so I have a couple of things I wanted to add because I think what I think is happening for a lot of people is we listen to say couldn't be me, and we didn't listen to show like you said empathy or anything like that. Now, granted, I'm not moving no man in my house after 2 weeks. I barely want to move a man up in my house if I marry him. That's a whole other story. However, I think a lot of people did not connect the dots because we already knew from the beginning when she started the story that he was a liar. You have to really take your mind out of, okay, I know everything, like I know the end of this story, to I don't know nothing, because that's what she went into this situation with. I don't know nothing, and I'm going into this situation with only this man word. And so far, it was good. Okay? Now, again, I'm not moving no man in. Oh, and I want to add this. Someone has like empathy or someone having a compassion about somebody, because I saw a comment in the actual comment section where they said like only people who are agreeing with her is people who see themselves in her. No, absolutely not. Like my friend watched a couple episodes and she said this couldn't be you, girl, because you got people all for saying the wrong thing on the comment section. I said, yep, you're right. It's just seeing people in different light. I'm learning to do that. That's one of the things I'm learning, like to stop judging and stop looking at things from like couldn't be me. It's better than you than me. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to be better with that. So I think a lot of people listen for the couldn't be me. Oh, she's stupid from the beginning. We know that because we see the end. We know the end. But she don't know the end. So the house thing, a lot of people keep saying when he lied about the house. Now at that point, she didn't know he was a liar. Something told her he's lying about that part of the house. However, she was pregnant. She was her hormones was crazy. She's in a different situation. But do you guys remember he tried to quote unquote make it up? Now again, it was a lie. He was actually putting in offers to houses. He was actually signing contracts and putting in offers. So in her mind, okay, I don't think nobody in their right mind would actually be talking to a realtor and putting in offers to multiple houses. There's nobody in their right mind would do that. And I felt her when she said, I said, yeah, I don't think there's nobody in there right now who would play with contracts, like who would literally play with contracts. But clearly, he's a liar. Another thing I heard somebody say, they keep saying like accountability. She literally, the whole story, she's talking about it's United Nations of red flags. She said it. She said, now looking back, I see the flags. Also, I think a lot of you guys not realizing he lies to everybody. He deceives his own family. Like, why you think she above his family? His own family. People who knows him, he deceived them as well. Like, he's a liar. He has issues. So I think a lot of people is just looking at the end because we know the end. Of course we know the end. We know what happened. Because when I first started, I'm on TikTok break, but I went on YouTube to watch it. And I wanted to watch the whole thing because I kept hearing about it. And I knew the story. I knew basically what happened. So I wanted to hear the story. I wanted to hear what she had to say about it and everything. So I didn't go into it like, oh, I know he lying. Oh, he lying about that. He lying about that. Because I already knew he was lying. I wanted to hear how she got herself wrapped into that. Now, a lot of times, like you guys said, some people who did grow up in Christian household, I'm a Christian myself. A lot of times when they start doing things, they do want to rush into marriage. Now, again, 10 months till they got married. I know a lot of you guys are like, she knew about the lies. At that point, it still wasn't reality at that point that he was lying. Because again, like she said, he talked so much. It was so flashy. He was lying. And again, the only house thing that really she knew he lied about is when she was pregnant. The other ones he was actually putting offers in. Again, I know it sounds crazy, but it was happening. In her mind, there's no way. And she did do a background check on him. The first background check she got is after she found the fake Social Security that he provided. She tried to do that. But again, all the lies that he said corroborated with what she thought she found in the background check, which was nothing. I don't understand what people want from her. That's what I want to know. Like, she told her story. It couldn't be you. That's great. But it could probably help somebody else, because I read a lot of comments, and I'm not even on TikTok, but I read a lot of comments on YouTube. And people was like, that sounds like my baby father. That sounds like this person. So clearly people are being lied to. Clearly people are being deceived. So, yeah, it couldn't be you or I, but somebody is happening to. Look at your family. Probably one of y'all cousins, aunties, somebody. Everybody ain't out here with these great relationships. So stop acting like it's just, I just hate that it's acting like, oh, she's just the biggest dummy I ever heard. This man is a manipulator. This man is crazy.
But she clocked it also. She clocked it, but she said she didn't act on it. She clocked it. She knew he was a manipulator. She clocked him lying, and she moved past it. All the time.
She clocked him lying.
Well, I'm gonna say something.
Wait a minute, hold on, Jane. I'm sorry. Did I get you, Tasha, your second? I want to make sure I'm being fair. Tasha.
Yeah, you can. I'm done.
Okay. I just want to make sure I'm being fair, because I'm only going to be up here for a little bit longer, so I want to make sure I give everybody a chance. But I agree with Tasha. She absolutely clocked the lies, and again, but she says it in her story. Listen, I know what we're saying, and I hear what people are saying, and I'm reading the comments, you guys. But again, everybody has their line in the sand. And I'm not telling you guys what I think I know. I'm telling you what I know, because I know what I've done in my own personal life. I understand all of what people are saying, but when she talked to that realtor and that man told her, we put our offer in, our offer was accepted, we are waiting for our closing date. And when she went on to realtor.com and saw that the house had been sold, and she called the realtor, and the realtor told her it was a older white couple closed on that house the day before. She said, in her words, not mine, I made a conscious decision, because I was pregnant, and I yes, her religious background or what have you, that I was going to allow him to lie his way out of this, right? I knew whatever he said to me was going to be a lie. And at this point, I just wanted to see what he was going to come up with. And for me, at that point, that would have been the end of it for me. Now, then she lost the baby. And I am never going to say that there's a blessing in that at all. I'm never going to say that. But she lost the baby. So now why are you still there? You know what I'm saying? Then it was the car situation. So now why are you still there? Then it was I'm going to take you to Europe. So now why? Like, again, I hear what you guys are saying, but everybody has to make a decision about where their line is. And for me, the house would have been the line for me, because my thing is, you're playing games. You're going to have our ass out here homeless with a baby, because she was pregnant. So you're about to have me out here homeless playing your reindeer games, and I'm pregnant. So I can't speak for everybody in the chat, and I don't know everybody's personal experience, and I'm not looking down on anyone who's allowed themselves to be manipulated, or allow isn't the word, but who has been manipulated, because there are some very talented liars in this world, and we've seen it. Like I said, we got the Tinder swindler. That man was borrowing hundreds of thousands of dollars from women, and they kept giving him money no matter what the ridiculous story he came. And like Xavier said, at least he wasn't taking money from her and didn't leave her. The Tinder swindler left these women bankrupt. Left these women in hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt. So it could have been worse, but it doesn't. Again, everybody has to decide what their line in the sand is.
And right? If the line in the sand wasn't the first lie with the house, when he didn't show up after when she had that DNC and gave an excuse that he couldn't miss work and she's having surgery. That's
not just surgery, but surgery as a result of miscarrying your child.
Your child, exactly.
All right, I'm gonna go back to Jane. I think it's Jane's turn to come back around. So I'm gonna come back around to Jane. Can we keep it to like 2 minutes, you guys? Because this our final round, and I want everybody to get an opportunity to get it all out. So Jane, and then Tracy, Xavier, Glenda, and Tasha. Okay, go ahead.
To be clear, I'm empathetic, but this isn't my story. I live a lifestyle most women would want, and I'm not in that to flex. So this isn't my story. My empathy comes from having watched friends go through this. Having watched friends go through this, I make completely different decisions when I was dating based on how I was taught to date. I did not realize until I was fully an adult that not everybody had been given this wisdom. And so I saw my girlfriends go through this. And what broke my heart is at some point when you're in your 30s, 40s, even 50s, there's nothing anybody can do. And a lot of girls committed to it because they felt, one, like it was their last chance. Two, they were afraid of looking stupid. They were like, if I can just hang on just a little bit longer, I can save myself some embarrassment, because this decision was born out of desperation.
And
That's
she said that.
I have
She
empathy.
said she didn't want to be embarrassed. She said that.
Yeah, that's who I have empathy for. It's not because it's me. Because it, like one of the girls said, anybody who can tell you, Miss Jane has been running credit checks on dudes since she was 19. I don't believe nothing dudes say to me until you show and prove. This dude couldn't afford to pay my assessments, let alone all my bills. Get it clear. So I'm not saying it from that standpoint. I have compassion for all the women. I watch the reality shows. I've seen Black Love. I've heard what guys say about women. And I'm sitting up here and I'm very confused because we act like this isn't reality for so many women. Like Really B was saying, girl, Dirty John and the Tinder Swindler made me just go, girl, you need Jesus at this point. And a lot of women do, because they're looking for a fantasy and they don't even know how to get the realistic version of what they could get. That's the part I think is tragic. And that's all I really had to say about it. I feel for it. And I'll, on a positive note, I don't know how, maybe it's through donations that she's gathered, but she is going to London and she is going to Paris. And
Yeah, through donations. Delta donated the flight and somebody else donated the hotel.
And I hope she gets that BMW 5 SUV that she wants with the cognac leather, because that's a fly car. And I hope she gets that. And I think it is a blessing, because something turned a light on in her, that she got a better job as a result of it. And that's also how he got uncovered, was through that second background check when he had to give her his real Social Security number. So that's all I wanted to be clear about. Y'all go on.
Okay, Tracy.
I'm just a cold-hearted, unempathetic person. So, again, I want you to really be by like episode 6, because I can't do a liar or a thief. Two people I can't do, because I'll never trust what you say to me, and I can't live my life in that type of chaos, like for me personally. But I agree. Some people can live there just fine because they're benefiting from what else comes out of it, which is fine, right? So whatever floats particular people's boat. I think for me, where I get on the thing, I'm like, when you knew the person is lying to you, how are you asked? I don't have any empathy or sympathy to give when you knew you were being lied to and you kept going. I was like, at that point, to me, it was a choice. And everything you did after that, what was a choice? And if you choose to make poor decisions, eh, choose better, be better. If y'all take anything from her story, therapy is great before relationships. Work on yourself. Do you? Don't any of y'all ever come to the internet with y'all story, because I am cold hearted and I'm gonna be like, "Ooh, you's a big dummy." That's it. That's all.
All righty then, Xavier.
I just want to reiterate, I don't think she's dumb at all. I think she was playing a game and she lost. I think that's just the consequence of playing that game where you want for these people to give you things when your life is dependent on what other people can give you. So I'm glad hopefully this will teach her not to depend on other people for things that she wants. She's getting I don't begrudge her success. I heard she made money all on her own. She's getting a trip all on her own through her own merits. I hope she takes that lesson and goes farther with it.
All right, all right. Who would I say was next? Glenda and then Tasha.
I don't have much to add. I just wanted to say I do have empathy for her. I am happy that all of this great things is coming to her. Y'all continue to share your stories because you can help somebody else. And your stories might be something that really makes something click. Also, another thing is one thing that she didn't do, and I think more people need to do this. I don't like the whole don't tell nothing that's in your relationship. Yes, you should keep a lot of things sacred in your relationship. However, you should share some things because somebody could have helped her. Nobody, she never told nothing, and nobody was able to help her because she kept everything a secret. So y'all need to talk more. Yes, you could talk to a therapist, but they ain't gonna give you no real sisterly advice. You need to talk to your friends too. You got to have somebody who is a confident in you, that you feel confident to share some things so you won't get swindled. But yes, keep sharing your story. You might help somebody. You don't have to hold your story in because there's always going to be somebody who thinks you're stupid. But it's better to share it and tell people, no, you don't have to share the whole internet, but it's better to share it and get it out there because you might help somebody.
Yeah. And Miss Tasha.
Yes. I just want to say that I don't really have an issue with her coming out, giving her story on social media, but I just hope people learn from her mistakes. I hope she learns from her mistakes, and um, hopefully this will never happen again, especially to this extent. And yeah, I don't know what else to say, but yeah.
Yeah, and I want to say this. Y'all know, well, first of all, I want to thank I mean Tracy, Jane, and Xavier. Those are my regulars up here. But I want to thank Glenda and Tasha. I want to thank everybody, but I want to especially thank Glenda and Tasha for coming up. I think Tasha, you've been up before, haven't you? I believe.
I haven't been. I'm always in the chat. I never come on.
Okay. Well, thank you guys for coming up. I definitely appreciated everybody's point of view, whether I agree or not. I thank the chat for all of you guys' point of view as well. And again, like I said, for me personally, I do appreciate her telling her story because her story is going to help somebody else. Whether maybe it'll help people that, like Legion said, he got a whole new girlfriend that he might be telling the same lies to. I do believe, right? I do believe that this man is, pathological. I do think that there is a psychology study in there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that there's some validity to what Jane was saying as it relates to what please change the angle of the mic. Just tuned in and it's like, whoa, huh? Change the angle of the mic. What are you talking about?
You were warming for 1 second a few minutes ago when you
I was
clicked
doing
that
what?
warming, like it was choppy for 1 second, but it's a big improvement over what it was previously.
Right.
Okay. Okay. Well, thank you. Because I'm about to say that's the first person that said anything about the sound. So that's why I was like, what?
It's the first time it happened, to be fair. It's the first time I really heard it this
Okay.
conversation.
Okay. Thank you. Um, so for me, again, I don't want to come off like I have all the answers or I'm perfect. Let's be clear. I have been a fool for love in my life on more than one occasion. I can tell you this, and I think I might have told you the stories when I've done my story times, and I probably could have more stories to tell. So I don't want anybody to feel like I feel like I'm above her, or that I feel like she's just so stupid and I'm just so smart, because that's definitely not my point of view. But I will say that I think I'm gonna go back to what I did say and say I think she's got to do some soul searching. And I think somebody said that she did speak about therapy, and I think that is a good thing, because she does have to ask herself why did I, and again, I can't answer that. I mean, we can have the conversation and all of that stuff, but why did I choose to continuously allow myself to be in a situation where I was not being respected, and I wasn't being loved, and I wasn't being valued in the way that I deserve to be? So that being said, I want to thank everybody. Y'all, I'm tired. I know y'all can see me up here yawning, and I apologize, but I did make this promise that I was going to have this conversation tonight. And so it's been a lot going on this week. Y'all know we've been going live this week, back to back. But with that being said, let me just give you guys the lineup for those of you that are new here or what have you. Tomorrow night, I will be hosting the RuPaul's Drag Race panel over on my review channel. Also, we're going to do the Wendy Lifetime review of part 1 of her, of the documentary. We'll probably do that on Sunday, because I'm not going to try to kill myself to do that tomorrow night after the RuPaul panel, because I would have to watch it and then do the review. So we'll probably do that review on Sunday. And for those of you who love Blood and Water, the new season of Blood and Water starts March the 4th on Netflix. If you guys are not familiar with Blood and Water, it's a really, really great series that comes on Netflix. And I've been reviewing it since season 1. So I will be reposting those reviews over on the review channel. Tracy just dropped the link. So if you guys are interested in my TV reviews, please go over and subscribe. And I will be reposting season 1, 2, and 3 of Blood and Water, so we can get ready for the new season, which is going to drop next week. Okay. I think those are the church announcements before we get up off of here. Again, I want to thank everybody that came through. If you didn't, please hit the like button on your way out. If you're new here, please subscribe. It's free 99. Am I doing? Oh gosh, I am doing swans. I've got to get that in. Oh God, I'm sorry, y'all. I got to get swans in.
We want.
I don't want to make a promise about swans, but we're gonna. I know I said I would do it this week and I didn't, so I don't want to make another promise and not keep it. Yes, Blood and Water is set in South Africa, but we will do a live on swans. Maybe as of right now, I don't think I have anything else going on Sunday, so I may be able to do both on Sunday. I just can't make that promise right now. I'll be in a better position to make that promise tomorrow. So when I go live for RuPaul tomorrow, I'll let you know if I'm going to be able to do both. But I'm going to try my best to do both. I'm going to try my best to get all of that done this weekend, because I still have to do the Real Housewives of Potomac live Sunday night. So it's a lot of back to back to back. But I'm going to try my best, you guys. I know I'm behind on swans, but we're going to get caught up. Worst case scenario, it'll be Tuesday. That's the latest I will push it out is Tuesday. But I'm going to try to do it this weekend. And I apologize for getting behind. It's been a lot with this Larry Reid stuff, child. I ain't gonna lie, that took a lot of my time this week. Okay.
Well, at least you out the group chat now.
Child, we about to get out that group chat, because listen, let me say this. I'm gonna say this for the people who've been following the Larry Reid story. Listen to what I'm telling y'all, and we're about to head on over to Pam's. But listen to what I'm telling y'all. For the people who I've been following the Larry Reid story. Let me listen to what I'm telling you. I need you to hear me carefully. Tracy, you're going to follow me. The rest of y'all read between the lines. I am out of the group chat until the lawsuits start dropping. Okay. Good night.
You funny. Thank you for having us up.
No problem, y'all. I'm about to jump off.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night. Good night.
Have a good night.